All right, main event time here coming to you guys. This is going to be the big one. Roman Reigns, your 2015 Royal Rumble winner, going up against Daniel Bryan. The winner goes on to WrestleMania 31 to fight in the main event against Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This is all coming off of the big, I guess you can say, controversy that was the Royal Rumble this year. Basically, The Rock got into the ring before the match was over to come down and try and help Roman Reigns fight off Corporate Kane and the Big Show after they had jumped back into the ring after their elimination, only to find out that during their celebration, Rusev was hiding underneath the ring, and he had chosen a time to get back into the ring and try and surprise Roman Reigns with an attack. The Rock was also there. Of course, everybody knows the history between Rusev and The Rock, dating back to that surprise Monday Night Raw appearance, and some people still are really having their fingers crossed that we might see a Rusev versus The Rock match, with basically a storyline just starting up in a series of matches versus Rusev against John Cena. I think that The Rock is crossed off the list. Some people say he might be there as a part of the WrestleMania festivities, maybe being a guest host once again. I think you do that once, no need to ever do it again. But a little part of me is like, I know why The Rock was there on paper, to try and save Roman Reigns from getting the loud chorus of boos. I think they knew this was going to happen, so they put in a phone call to The Rock, trying to play off of this whole family ties between The Rock and Roman Reigns. If you love The Rock so much, you won't hate his cousin, Roman Reigns. That's basically what it was all about. But if The Rock is going to show up to Philadelphia just to see Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble when he has a 1 in 30 chance of winning it, it wasn't a guarantee. Why would The Rock not be at WrestleMania when he has a 1 in 1 chance? Or a 1 in 2, I guess it would be. There were two guys in the match. Or even worse, if it's a three-way, which I think a lot of people are thinking what's going to be happening at the upcoming WrestleMania 31. Why would The Rock not show up to see Roman Reigns have a 1 in 3 shot of becoming the WWE World Heavyweight Champion? Because, The Rock is all about family. I think The Rock is all about that bottom line and that big bottom dollar. That Vince is going to write that check if he wants Rock showing up at there. But there's lots of stories at the Royal Rumble about The Rock being upset about the way things went down. Maybe he didn't know the way the crowd was going to react, and maybe he felt played. WWE was trying to use him to save Roman. He's a big star inside and outside of wrestling, and he doesn't really need publicity of The Rock doing a surprise appearance, and then that same night, canceled WWE Network is trending. Loud chorus of boos playing in all of the news stories, playing about The Rock making his surprise Royal Rumble appearance, whether if it was on Hollywood Minute or Extra or any of those other daytime talk shows that people care too much about what's going on in the world of celebrities. But basically, Triple H came out on Monday Night Raw. He made a surprise match, which was going to be Daniel Bryan going up against Seth Rollins. If Daniel Bryan was able to get the win, he was going to be able to go on and fight Roman Reigns to find out who the true #1 contender was going to be. Roman is coming off one of the biggest years he's ever had, of course, being voted the 2014 Superstar of the Year on the WWE Slammy Awards. He's gone up. He's had 2 shots to become a WWE champion. He fell up short at the Money in the Bank, and basically he was on the outside looking up, and they really put the camera in on him in shock of him not being able to capture the championship in that first shot of going after it. Of course, from there on out, he went to the Fatal 4-Way at the Battleground pay-per-view, which he wasn't able to win either. So he has this taste of going after that championship and not being close to there. Daniel Bryan, the guy who won the World Heavyweight Championship last year at WrestleMania, defeating Triple H in the opening match, putting him on to defeat Batista and Randy Orton in a really, really big match, probably the biggest match of his career. These guys are going to go at it to try and find out who the #1 contender is going to be. In my mind, honestly, you can see that Roman Reigns is the big deal in Vince McMahon's eyes. He thinks that Roman Reigns is another Rock, a guy that the fans will really get behind. He's going to have this sort of cool character of, being a big part of the Shield, which also has this sort of dark side, where it's a lot like, you don't want to cross this guy. He'll be friendly with you. He'll shake your hand, but if, he gives you that sly, dirty look, he's going to whoop your ass. Daniel Bryan, on the other hand, is one of the best wrestlers there is in the world today. And he's been looked at as an underdog his whole career, and he's been able to overcome all the odds. Everyone's always thought of him as a smaller guy. Stephanie McMahon always refers to him as a B-plus player. And, not being able to rise up. Daniel Bryan shocked the world by winning the championship at WrestleMania. But as Stephanie said it, real champions and A-plus players find a way to do it day in and day out and not just on one chance. Anybody can be that one guy who has 15 minutes of fame. But, a real champion is going to be able to find a way to step up to the plate and win this match again. I really want Daniel Bryan to main event WrestleMania. I really want to see how big it can get. But, in my mind, I'm thinking, I know that the fans like Daniel Bryan and they're booing Roman Reigns. And it seems to be that there's like this big deal. I don't know. I think that, Roman Reigns, when I went to the WWE house show in Sacramento, I actually got to go to one in my own hometown. I didn't have to drive 90 minutes down to the road to either Oakland or Stockton this time because I was able to get the right day off. But, Roman Reigns has got fans out there. For some reason, when it's a television crowd, it's a different crowd that's on these other things. And I don't know if people do it much like they did back in the day with John Cena, where they would boo Cena because it's the cool thing to do. But I don't know. I thought we were all gung-ho on Roman Reigns, going on and trying his best to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I thought that would be a big match. I know that Daniel Bryan coming back threw a big, rock through that window because of the fact that, what do you do with Daniel Bryan now? I know that there was a match on the table for Daniel Bryan to fight Sheamus at WrestleMania, and a match that nobody really wants to see. This is a match that was supposed to happen for the United States Championship at WrestleMania 27, which was bumped due to time, with them then fighting in the pre-show Battle Royal. And then you go to WrestleMania 28, where for time, once again, Daniel Bryan gets kicked in the face and loses in under 10 seconds. What a way to, put over Sheamus. But, Daniel Bryan, the guy who wins your Money in the Bank, the guy that shocks the world by pinning Big Show and is able to fight off Big Show and Mark Henry as you build this guy up. Then also go into the Elimination Chamber, something that nobody thought he had a chance to win, and do that. But then it sort of started this huge heel character of Daniel Bryan turning on AJ and turning on everybody else, sort of teaming up with John Laurinaitis, going up against CM Punk. And I honestly, for one, thought when Bryan lost it, I was like, well, he's just going to be a guy now. He's going to be a guy that held a championship one time. It's going to make him look like he's sort of a big deal. They'll be able to put him into these past championship matches, whether if they do like, a fatal 4-way or some sort of a big main event on Monday Night Raw, or, like they did the past champions Money in the Bank, something like that. But that's just about it. But he was able to overcome the odds, always still connecting with the fans, whether if he was in the tag team with Kane or going up against the Shield or, going off on his own. I think everybody really got behind the yes, 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 no, no, no. And, they got behind him in the long run. They really liked watching him wrestle, and they really liked the storyline that was going down. I don't think that Daniel Bryan is Hulk Hogan. I don't think that he's guaranteed the WrestleMania main event. This match, to me, honestly, when I sit down to watch it, I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm sure I'm going to be into it. But at this point, it always just sort of seems like this is like that rip-off, I'm going to take your money match. I know that the network is $10, to subscribe. But it just, to me, reminds me of, past Royal Rumbles where they've done screwy finishes, or they just try and buy. They got you on the hook to buy the January pay-per-view. Now we're going to get you on the hook to buy that February pay-per-view, because what happened in that main event, we're not really going to go through with what the stipulation was. We're going to say what happens on the February pay-per-view then goes on to WrestleMania, whether if it was The Rock versus Big Show back in 2000, or whether if it was the first Stone Cold Steve Austin Royal Rumble win where Austin cheated, which then set up the fatal 4-way in your house. Things like that just sort of, get under my skin, that I'm not really winning. I think that Roman's gonna win this match. I really want to cheer on Daniel Bryan, but we're gonna have to see. This is gonna be a pay-per-view. At this point, it's just gonna be a show. I'm anxious to see what the show is gonna be like. So make sure you check back into the Stevie Breach channel to see my review the night after, and we can see where we go from there. But thanks for hanging around.